In this video, I'm going to go over why traditional cardio is a waste of time for fat loss, and I'm also going to discuss the #1 exercise to lose your belly fat. This is Jay Scott with Fit Men Over 40, and I've been helping guys reach their fitness goals for over 20 years now. And I've gone through my own transformation, going from about 185 pounds at 30% body fat after falling off the fitness wagon to 150 pounds at about 10% body fat. I found the way to stay lean now, but I understand having issues with fat loss. I've been there, and my goal is to help you guys lose belly fat. But I've seen a question floating around, a lot of content being made, and the question's this: is cardio a waste of time for fat loss? Now, I've been asked this plenty of times, but I have to say that yes, it can be for sure. But in order to fully understand this question, we need to understand a couple of things. Number one, we need to understand exactly what belly fat is and how men lose it. Number two, we need to better understand exactly what cardio is and how it removes belly fat. Now, typically when people think of cardio, they think of slaving away on things like the StairMaster or maybe going running, jogging, or biking. And while this is indeed cardio, it's not what I would recommend for losing your belly fat. You see, specific activities get you good at specific things. Running will get you good at running. Biking will get you good at biking. But if your main goal is to lose belly fat, then we need to talk about the process of losing belly fat and how that works. One thing's for sure, just doing cardio and breaking a good sweat, that's not going to cut it. Fat loss is a process that takes some time, and you need to do several things right in order to lose that belly fat. And these things, they sort of stack on top of one another. And remember, ultimately, as a man, in order to see that six-pack, you're going to need to get down to around 12 to 15% body fat. So how can we do that? Well, we can't do it with just a few sprints every day or by slaving away for an hour on the StairMaster. Those types of exercises, they're just not sustainable for most busy guys. We have to understand that fat loss takes time and requires patience. So we need an exercise that's sustainable. I'll get to that in a second. But first, if you want to lose belly fat, then you need to know how fat loss happens for men. The stomach, the love handles, the lower back, this fat is the most stubborn fat on a man's body. You see, men lose fat in a specific pattern. We basically lose fat from the extremities inward. In other words, you're going to lose fat from your extremities first, your arms, your legs, and then you'll notice definition creeping to the shoulders and the back. And the chest, it's usually next. It's going to start to become more defined, and we all love that. That's awesome because we all want to lose chest fat. And finally, and this is where it gets really exciting, the fat loss moves to the torso. And that's when you'll start to lose your love handles, your belly fat, and you'll start to see that ab definition. So as stated, the exercise we do must be sustainable so that we can reap the benefits all along the path until we get to our goal without overwhelming ourselves. Now, when most people hear about exercise to lose belly fat, they think of the ab flex. What? But seriously, a lot of people think about ab exercises and they associate those with getting a six-pack. And there is some truth to this because ab exercises do develop the core muscles and that makes them pop through the skin a little bit more. But ab exercises, they do not directly help you burn belly fat. Now, you should still make sure you do your ab training so you'll be able to keep a strong, healthy core. And ab training will make your abs look way better after you do lose the belly fat, but don't rely on ab exercises to burn belly fat. Building muscle and losing fat, they are two totally separate processes, and that method, which is called spot reduction, it just doesn't work. I also recommend resistance training to all men, but again, that is not going to directly burn belly fat. But I do strongly recommend all men do resistance training. That's so that when you do lose that body fat, you'll have an awesome, jacked, superhero physique to show off under there. So resistance training, it's just a baseline that all men should do 2 or 3 times a week. The #1 fat loss exercise I'm about to tell you about is something you do in addition to resistance training. What you need to understand is that there is a combination going on here. It's basically a 1-2 punch to knock out fat. There's diet, and there's movement or activity, and you need them both to lose fat most effectively. Now, if you really don't know how much food you're consuming daily, I recommend starting with your diet. And if you don't know how to even begin that, then I suggest using one of the online calculators to find out exactly how much you need to eat daily to lose weight. Now, these calculators are awesome and they're simple. You just put in your height, weight, and activity level, you hit the calculate button, and it spits out the number of calories you need to consume daily to lose fat at several different rates. And whether you want to lose fat quickly or at a more moderate pace, these calculators have you covered. I'll put a link to a good one in the description. This is going to get you started for sure. So if you don't want to sign up for coaching with us right now, which you can do at fitmenover40.com, then this is a great place to start. You just have to take action and hold yourself accountable. So now you've got a great start on the diet. So what's the number one exercise to lose fat? Well, as we stated, most of the time we think of running or sprinting when we think of cardio, but in fact, you do cardio every single day of your life. That's because walking is a form of cardio. But the real reason I recommend walking is because you can go from this to this simply by adding walking and realizing the amount you are eating daily. That simple combination, it's life-changing. No need to run a marathon or anything crazy because again, that's not sustainable for most guys. And if you're over 40, your joints will really appreciate walking over running. I'll tell you that. Now, the fact is that most modern humans, we just don't move a lot. And I know the times when fat gain has really crept up on me, I was shocked to find out that I was only getting like a few thousand steps a day. You may be doing the same. Thanks a lot, technology. I mean, if you're like most guys, you probably sit in a car, go to work, sit some more, and then come home and sit down and watch TV. If that sounds like you, then you're probably getting very few steps. Maybe as little as 2,000 or 3,000 a day. I was the same way. So what did I do to fix my situation? I increased my steps to 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day. And when I increased my steps, I felt better, I was able to play sports better, and I was able to work out in the gym without getting winded. And I lost pounds and pounds of fat. So by realizing the calories that were in the food I was eating and increasing my steps, I was able to make drastic changes to my body. And the walking was actually relaxing. Walking is calming and it relieves stress. And it fits easily into your daily life. It's something you do every day anyway, so you don't have to learn how to do it or acclimate to it. You can increase your daily step count by parking further away from the store, walking your dog. Maybe you can set up a time to take a walk with your spouse, spend some quality time together. Just start thinking about how you can get more steps because in modern society, we often want to get less steps. We want to park closer. But if you shift your mind, you can start actually wanting to get more steps and seeing that as a benefit in your life. And if you have access to a treadmill, then you can really rack up the steps. Now, maybe you're lucky enough to have a treadmill at home, but if not, you probably have one at the gym or maybe in your apartment complex. And personally, I like to get up and hit the treadmill first thing in the morning before I begin the day. So before anything else happens, I want to get some me time and I want to get a win for the day. Now, you can even kill two birds with one stone and actually supercharge your productivity by listening to podcasts or audiobooks while you're walking. Now, I recommend most guys start with a modest amount of daily steps, one that's not too overwhelming. I usually recommend about 6,000 to 8,000 steps a day as a starting point. And you can slowly add to this, topping out around 12 or 14,000 steps. But what if you don't have time to keep upping your step count? I mean, maybe you only have time for 6,000 steps a day or so. Well, if you want to up the intensity without going crazy with your step counts, then you can increase the incline on the treadmill or you can increase your speed. This will help you burn the same amount of calories in less time, which will free up more of your day. Now, another reason I choose to do my walking in the morning is because I've found it helps me with the rest of the day. First of all, it makes me feel great to get those endorphins going early, and I also feel like it improves my cognition. After my morning walk, I get more work done, and I'm in a better mood. But morning walking also helps me stick to my diet. I've found that when I do my cardio in the morning, I don't want to mess up my progress by eating bad the rest of the day. If I overeat after doing cardio, it feels like my time on the treadmill was completely wasted. And since I don't want to feel like that, I stick to my plan that much better. So it's time to stop thinking of cardio as a grueling, sweaty, painful experience. With walking, you can think of your cardio as a stress reliever that burns fat and gets you outdoors. It's going to improve your mood, it's going to make your energy levels go up, it's going to allow you to be extra productive. And with every step, you're one step closer to that six-pack. And if you'd like to know how to get in better shape than 95% of the guys you know, watch this video next.